Yo, what is up, guys? So today we're talking about a middleweight fight between Omari Akhmedov and Breese at UFC Fight Night Holloway vs. Cater, and I'm telling you guys right now, most likely this fight will be the co-main event for this UFC Fight Night. If it is not the co-main event, then Santiago Ponzinibbio and Jinglian Li will then be the co-main event, but it doesn't really matter who's the co-main event, because either way, it is a 3-round fight. This middleweight fight is going to be very, very interesting. Omari Akhmedov, the 14th best middleweight fighter in the world, 25-1, coming off a loss to Chris Weidman around 4.5 months ago. Before that, he was on an absolute tear in the middleweight division, beating guys like Ian Heinisch, Zach Cummings, Tim Boetsch, got a draw against Marvin Vettori, a top 5 middleweight fighter in the world, then got 2 decision wins over Kyle Noke and Abdulrazak Al-Hassan. I mean, this dude is the real deal, a top 15 middleweight fighter in the world. He's actually the underdog in this fight, currently sitting around plus 100 as a near-even underdog to win this fight. He's 33 years old, 6 foot tall, and has a reach of 73 inches. Tom Breese is the 34th best middleweight fighter in the world, has a record of 12 wins, 2 losses. He is coming off a nice win in his last fight by knockout by jab against KB Billar. I mean, that was an amazing jab knockout. That was about 2.5 months ago. He is a minus 135 slight favorite to win the fight. I mean, he's 29 years old, 6 foot 3 inches tall. That is an amazing height advantage for Tom Breese in this fight, and he has a little bit of a reach advantage at 73.5 inches. This fight should be so interesting. And even though I did say that Omar Akhmedov is the underdog according to the betting odds, he's currently sitting around plus 100 as a near-even underdog. If you look at the Tapology predictions, on the other hand, 55% of the vote out of 700 different votes are going for Omari Akhmedov to win the fight, mainly by unanimous decision, because that is basically how he wins every single one of his fights. 47% of the vote are going for Tom Breese to win the fight, mainly by knockout, and then some people obviously have Tom Breese winning the fight by unanimous decision. I'm telling you guys right now, if Tom Breese wins the fight, it's going to be in the first or second round. If Akhmedov wins the fight, it's going to be by decision. I don't really see Akhmedov getting a submission. I don't see him getting a knockout. I don't see Tom Breese getting a submission. I don't see Tom Breese winning the fight by unanimous decision. I think he needs a finish, and Omari Akhmedov just needs to not get finished and let the fight go all the way and get another unanimous decision. This fight should be very interesting. I'm telling you guys right now, this might be the underdog of the night in Omari Akhmedov at plus 100 as a slight underdog to win the fight, because guys, this dude, he's a top 15 middleweight fighter in the world. Before that loss to Chris Weidman, he was doing a really good. He actually started his career back in 2010, started with a first round rear naked choke submission, got a unanimous decision, lost a second round guillotine choke submission, came back with a first round knockout, got a decision win, a first round armbar submission win, 2 first round knockouts, then another first round knockout, then guess what? Another first round knockout, then got a first round guillotine choke submission, got another first round knockout, a first round guillotine, got inside the UFC, I believe back in 2013, got a first round knockout in his first fight inside the UFC, but lost his next fight in 2014 to Gunnar Nelson by first round guillotine choke submission. Came back with 2 straight wins, one by unanimous decision over Matt Nilsson, and then one by first round TKO over Brian Ebersole. But then he went on a 2-fight losing streak against Sergio Moraes and Elizeu Zaleski, both losses coming by third round knockout. He did come back, however, after those 2 losses with 2 decision wins over Kyle Noke and Abdulrazak Al-Hassan. Got the draw with Marvin Vettori, a top 5 middleweight fighter in the world. That is absolutely insane for anyone to get a draw with Marvin Vettori. That is saying something right there. After that draw with Marvin Vettori, he did come back after that with a unanimous decision win over Tim Boetsch, a unanimous decision win over Zach Cummings, and guess what? A unanimous decision win over Ian Heinisch. And then he fought Chris Weidman, I believe like the 12th or 11th best middleweight fighter in the world, and ended up losing that fight by unanimous decision. That was about 4.5 months ago, and he looks to come back with a win here over Tom Breese in this fight. Alright guys, so if you guys were paying attention to how Omari Akhmedov actually wins his fights, I mean, outside of the UFC, he was a finishing machine. Every single one of his fights basically was a finish by either submission or knockout. That was absolutely insane. Once he joined the UFC, he only got 2 finishes, the rest by unanimous decision. Literally, 6 of his wins came by unanimous decision, and then one of them being a draw against Marvin Vettori. His losses mainly coming by knockout, so that could be a big factor for Tom Breese, who really wants to go out there and get a knockout in this fight. But guys, even if you look at Tom Breese and how he wins the fights, he has 12 wins with only 2 losses, and guess what those losses are to? Brendan Allen by first round TKO, and then I believe Sean Strickland by split decision, so he's losing to very high caliber competition inside the UFC. So far, he already has 5 wins inside the UFC, so far in the UFC, he's 5-2, which is a very good record inside the UFC. Outside the UFC, he started his career back in 2010, got a win over Shah Hussein, got a first round rear naked choke submission win, a first round triangle choke choke submission win, a second round knockout win, a first round triangle choke submission win, a first round rear naked choke submission win, and then he had one more fight outside of the UFC, inside of Cage Warriors, where in the third round, literally with 3 seconds left in that third round, he ended up fighting Thibaut Larchette and won the fight by rear naked choke submission. It was so close to the end of the fight. He would have won the fight either way, but it's still cool to see that he got the submission right at the end of that fight. That was back in 2014. In 2015, he did join the UFC, got a first round knockout win over Luis Dutra Jr., literally with 2 seconds left in that very first round. And then he followed up that win with another first round knockout win with literally 23 seconds left in that very first round, followed by a unanimous decision win over a veteran fighter in the middleweight division in Keita Nakamura. But in his next fight, he did end up fighting Sean Strickland, and that was his first ever pro MMA loss, as he ended up losing that fight by split decision. A very, very close loss to Sean Strickland. But he did come back around 2 years later with a first round knockout win over Daniel Kelly. But his next 4 fights scheduled inside the UFC all ended up getting canceled. That was absolutely insane. Against Cesar Ferreira twice, Alessio Di Carico, and then Ian Heinisch. And then finally, at the beginning of 2020, I believe back in February, he did end up fighting Brendan Allen and got a first round TKO loss to Brendan Allen, and came back after that with a first round power jab knockout win over KB Bhullar. Absolutely insane. I cannot wait to see what happens in this middleweight fight. I cannot wait to see if it is the co-main event for this UFC fight night. But guys, I am telling you guys right now, this fight is going to be very, very close. Omari Akhmedov obviously going to go out there and try to get a unanimous decision, just like his 6 previous wins. Tom Breese is going to go out there and try to do what he did against KB Bhullar and go out there in the first or second round and get a knockout. It's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens in the first or second round. I do think Tom Breese will win the first round. The second round is where I do think Tom Breese may land that shot that puts Omari Akhmedov away. The second round is just where it's all at. If Omari Akhmedov can get past the second round and get it to the third round, I think Omari Akhmedov would win the fight by unanimous decision. But if he cannot get past that second round, I think Tom Breese is going to go out there in the second round and most likely get a TKO win over Omari Akhmedov. I'm still telling you guys, do not bet on this fight. It is way, way too risky to bet on Tom Breese, especially because Omari Akhmedov, a top 15 middleweight fighter in the world, was on a 6-fight win streak with a draw against Marvin Vettori. I mean, Omari Akhmedov, he's an absolute beast. But Tom Breese has an amazing height and reach advantage in this one. So ultimately, I do think Tom Breese will most likely win this fight by second round TKO. Alright guys, so if you agree with that prediction, or maybe you guys disagree with that prediction, just put your predictions in the comment section below. I'd love to see what you guys think is going to happen in this middleweight, probably going to be co-main event fight. Just guys, do not bet on Tom Breese in this one. I think this one's a little bit too risky of a bet to make, especially because he is a minus 135 slight favorite to win the fight. I think that is a little bit too much. In my opinion, if I was the odds maker, I'd probably have Tom Breese at minus 115, minus 117, somewhere around that range. Minus 135 just seems a little bit off. But yeah guys, make sure to put your predictions in the comment section below for this middleweight fight. Make sure to like the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and turn on those post notifications. That would be absolutely insane. But that is it for the video. I'm going to go on and make some more videos today. Probably two or three more videos that I'm going to make today. So hit that like button, subscribe, turn on those post notifications. I'm out of here.